श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत sorry भक्ति वेदांत भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार श्रील भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपनो गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम अचय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मोन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री रस-पाñcādhyayī की जय। श्री सर्वव्रज देवी गण की जय। रासेश्वरी श्री विश्वभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री विजेंद्र नंदन श्याम सुंदर श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री मध्वाचार्य की जय। तृतीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। श्री रामचंद्र विजयोत्सव की जय। श्री विजय दशमी की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम् हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रयेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत् सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakama ditaranga madhe kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Raseshwari Mataji, Rup Manjari Didi, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, Madhavi Didi, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Indira Mataji, and Prajumna Prabhu. Yes, can we read something about our Sampradayik connections to Madhvacharya? Well, actually, Srivas translated a couple things. Something by Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj and by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, which has never been published in English before. And he will be publishing that on a new website, but I'll tell you about that afterwards at the end. But yeah, it's going to be launched today. And so I will read that at some point today. Oh, and Nri Hari Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. And Gargaraj ji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. All right, so now today we are beginning Gopī-gīta. Let me just go back. I think we're in the middle. Okay, well, give me 1 second, guys. I'll read this summary up to Gopī-gīta. Where is it? Okay. On the full moon night of the autumn, on the full moon night of autumn, Sharad Purnima, the festive ambience of Vrindavan inspired Krishna's desire to dance with the gopis. Krishna then began to play his flute standing at Vaiṣṇava. The gopis all over Vraj left their respective duties and rushed towards Krishna. Some of them were forbidden by their relatives, but they disregarded them and went to Krishna anyways. Seeing the gopis, Krishna gave numerous accounts of why they should return home, although within his heart he wanted them to stay. However, due to their deep attachment for him, the gopis only heard his external words, became heartbroken, and thus fervently requested him to accept them as his maidservants. Some scholars call this appeal of the gopis as Pranay Geet, or the Song of Love. Hearing their plea, self-satisfied Krishna reciprocated with them by initiating the Ras dance. While dancing with the all-attractive Lord, the gopis, being induced by the Lord's Leela Shakti, his pastime potency, felt proud for having received such special attention from Krishna. Noticing this, Krishna immediately disappeared just to intensify their love. Overwhelmed by feelings of separation from Krishna, the gopis searched for him all over the forest. In the night, they searched for him all over in the forest in the night like mad persons. With their minds fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, they looked for him in various forests, asking moving and non-moving entities about Krishna's whereabouts. They enacted his various pastimes in order to mitigate their distress to some extent. As they were wandering, the gopis saw Lord Krishna's footprints, along with Srimati Radharani's. They understood that Radharani must have worshipped Krishna with unusual excellence, since she had been privileged to receive the rarest special attention from Krishna. As the gopis moved forward, they found Radharani alone in anguish. Krishna had disappeared from her sight too, when she had felt herself to be the most fortunate among women and had asked Krishna to carry her as she couldn't walk further. Then Radharani and all the gopis continued searching for Krishna and came to the bank of the Yamuna and prayed for Krishna's audience and mercy. The gopis had dedicated their minds and their very lives to Krishna. Their crying, which appeared like their misery, actually showed their exalted state of transcendental bliss. In their separation from Krishna, they sang a song called Gopī-gīta, in which they simultaneously accused and praised Krishna. So we're starting that Gopī-gīta today. Oh, and something I almost forgot to mention. My cousin Manjari, Didi, she made one of my favorite paintings of all time. She did a painting for Gopī-gīta. You might be familiar with that painting. It's the cover of my Gurudev's Rāsa-pañcādhyayī, the front cover and back cover. Let's first read and then I can show you. But if you'd like to get it, it's available for purchase if you'd like to have it in your home. But yeah, we can go. I'll show you that afterwards. But now it's late, so I just want to start. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, there. Gopya uchu jayati te dhikam janmana vraja shayata indira shashvaratrahi daitadreshyata dikshutavakas tvaidrita savas tvang vichidvate. The Gopi said, "O precious beloved, your birth in this land of Vraj has made it more glorious than Vaikuntha and other planets. For this reason, the presiding deity of beauty and wealth, Indira, Lakshmi Devi, eternally decorates this Vraj by residing here. O Master, this Vraj is extremely blissful. Only we gopis, your dearest ones, are very unhappy being separated from you. We continue to maintain our lives only for your sake and have become extremely disheartened searching for you throughout the forest. So please, now give us your darshan." So now we're reading the Bhavanuvads of Śrīla Svāmī Pads, Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. The end of the previous chapter describes that the Vraj Devis in separation from Sri Krishna became depressed after searching for him continuously and returns to the bank of the Yamuna. Now, in this 31st chapter, while singing songs about Sri Krishna, they started praying for him to come. This prayerful song of separation by the Vraj Gopis is known as Gopī-gīta. O lover, O dear one, by taking birth in Vraj, you have made it more glorious and opulent than any other abode. Your accepting birth here is the very reason that induced Indira, Lakshmi, to eternally decorate Vraj with her presence. All the Vrajvasis are drowning in a vast ocean of bliss. Only we, your gopis, are unhappy. Looking up and down for you throughout the forests of Vraj, we somehow remain alive only for your sake. Please appear before us. Be gracious and give us your darshan. Come and see how miserable we are searching for you. Oh, thanks, Manjari Didi. She also sent the link, so you can see it on Facebook in the comments. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. I desire to disclose the meaning of those words spoken by the gopis that no one except Sri Krishna understands. I repeatedly submit my earnest requests to the gracious maidens of Vraj to sanction this cherished desire. Wow, what an intro. This Gopī-gīta is the essence of the wealth of nectarian mellows. As this nectar has already been tasted by Śrīdhara Swami, I am collecting some of his remnants. The Gopi said, "O dear one, since you took birth in Vraj, it has become vastly more glorious than ever before." The word adhik, vastly more, indicates that the excellence of Vraj is not limited to a few places in Vraj. Rather, it is experienced everywhere in all four directions. Therefore, he, the presiding goddess Therefore, the presiding goddess of wealth, Sri Lakshmi Devi, Indira, eternally decorates this Vraj by living here. Thus, wealth and beauty here are perpetually increasing by the moment. The word Vraj indicates not only the land itself, but also the inhabitants. In this way, due to the influence of Indira, Vraj's men, women, animal, birds, creepers, trees, lakes, mountains, etc., have attained full auspiciousness in every respect. But alas, we alone are treated unfairly by Providence, being cast into unrelenting suffering. Worst of all, although you are omniscient, most merciful, and moreover are beloved, you cannot understand our sorrow. Attempting to express their feelings, the Gopi said, "At this time, we can ignore the pain of other predicaments. We just want you to know about our misery. To express this, the Vraj Devis called out, "Daita, O dear one. Hey, Daita, O beloved, just for a moment, even from far away, behold our condition and finally recognize our suffering." I'm having a hard time talking, sorry. The innermost purport of this statement is, it is your nature to feel the grief of others. Therefore, upon learning about or seeing our miserable condition, you will be unable to refrain from appearing before our eyes. Krishna might ask the gopis, "Why are you so unhappy?" To explain this, they speak the line beginning with the word dikshu. They reply, "Clinging to the hope of finding you, we, your gopis, are searching everywhere for you. This aimless wandering has made us extremely tired." Ṭhākura. This means, "We are your gopis, whom you've accepted as your own." They impart another purport to these words. "We take pride in identifying ourselves as yours, and that is why we are so unhappy while looking for you. If we are not yours, we would never be subject to this sorrowful state." With humility rising in their hearts, the gopis address Krishna, "Hey Daita," hoping that their lover Sri Krishna, who is the ocean of mercy, will take pity on them, because, by definition, one who bestows mercy is known as Daita. But Daita is also one who accepts the heart. The focus in this interpretation, given by Kshira Swami, is actually compassion, as the gopis' intention was to invoke the mercy in the heart of Sri Krishna while accusing him sweetly. "Now that you've accepted our hearts, it is improper not to bestow your mercy upon us." A question comes. Genuine love void of deceit, self-gratification, does not exist in the world of mortal men. If it does exist, then how can there be separation? If for some reason there is separation, how can the lovers remain alive? According to this logic, it is evident that the heroine cannot remain alive in separation from her Daita. Thus, Krishna asked the gopis, "Then how come you are still alive without me?" They reply, "We live only for you. Our life heirs remain in our bodies because we hope to be with you." Tvai dhrita savas. We are maintaining our lives only for your sake, and have offered our heirs and senses unto you. Because of this, we are searching for you. Therefore, O beloved, please try to understand our plight, because if you do, then you will definitely give us your darshan. This verse is composed in the meter called Indira. Not only do the Lagu and Guru matras alternate in a fixed circle and in harmony of the lines and letters, but even the first letter of each of the two portions of a line is the same. Yes, it's. Anyways, I'll show you in the next verse. It means that the first letter of the second part of each pada is the same as the first part. Some verses of this chapter have other letter repetitions of this kind. And some verses, as in this first one, the first and seventh letters are the same in both parts of a line. This special technique is described in the Mukta Phal commentary of Svāmī. Here, Drishyatam means the knower, that is, one who realizes our sorrow. The gopis say, "Let our sorrow be known." The deep intention behind this is as follows. After he beholds our anguish, he will surely himself after he beholds our anguish, he will surely manifest himself, for he is someone who is distressed by the sorrow of others. And I just want to show you what, see, look, it says, Jayatitikam Janmana Vraja. See, so it starts Ja, and then Shrayata Indira Shashvaratrahi. See, Sha. Then Daita Drishyatam Dikshutavakas. Da. Tvai Tritasavas Tvam Vichinvate. See, Tva. So all the lines are like that. All right, so now reading Śrīla Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha Darśinī. The 31st chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam describes the aroma of music and rhythm coming from the honey of love that is contained in the lotus flowers of this Gopī-gīta, the song of the gopis. The bumblebee Krishna is irresistibly attracted to these flowers. Wow. This 31st chapter describes the aroma of music and rhythm coming from the honey of that love that is contained in the lotus flowers of this Gopī-gīta. So poetic, huh? I begin my commentary by repeatedly offering obeisances to the lotus feet of Śrīla Sanatana Gosvāmī, Sri Śrīdhara Swāmī, and our Guru Varga, from whose remnants I receive my sustenance. Desiring their blessings for my own welfare, I am taking up the task of commenting on Sri Gopī-gīta. The previous verse, 10:30:45, relates that the gopis, losing all hope of finding Krishna, returned to the bank of the Yamuna and began singing his glories, praying with intense desire for him to come. With the firm conviction that their song would melt his heart, they began singing their earnest requests. One might ask what kind of song they sang. Srila Shukadeva Goswami gives the answer in this verse, starting with Gopya Uchu. The gopis sing, "Hey Daita, O beloved, because of your birth here, Vraj has become glorious, indeed far superior to all other planets." Shri Krishna might contend that this superiority is even there in Vaikuntha Loka. The gopis respond with Adhikam. This Vraj is more glorious than Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is certainly wonderful, but this Vraj Dham is even more superb. Describing another super excellent feature of Vraj, the gopis say, Indira, who is served by everyone in Vaikuntha, that same Mahalakshmi Devi is constantly serving this Vraj. Hence, this Vraj is replete with all prosperity, even more than Vaikuntha. This is the mood. Because Indira, the goddess of wealth, resides here, Vraj is full of incomparable bliss not found anywhere else. We gopis, your beloveds, are the only ones who experience sorrow, an intolerable anguish which no one has ever seen or heard of before. We are not praying to you for relief from our pain, but if you will once look, Drishitam, at our condition in this Vrindavan, Atra, then you will definitely, fulfill the purpose of your eyes. Krishna might inquire, what should I look at? They reply, see here, in this delightful Vrindavan, we, your own gopis, are searching for you, suffering extreme anguish and separation. What else could please you more? Shri Krishna might wonder how these gopis could remain alive after being burnt in the blazing fire of separation, because it is impossible for lovers to continue their lives in such a situation. The gopis reply, O beloved, have no such doubt. We are still alive because we have turned our lives over to you who have seized our vital heirs and driven us insane. If those life heirs were still ours, then we would be residing in our bodies and there be burnt in the blazing fire of separation. Thus we would be dead, which would be a boon to us. And we would have been happy by now if we were if we were dead. But you have taken control of our life heirs, which are now happily residing in you, accepting you as their master. If one's life heirs are happy, how can that person die? Therefore, we conclude that you take constant pleasure in seeing us suffer. Often the verses of Gopī-gīta are decorated with alliteration, where throughout the verse the second syllable is the same in each successive line. In this verse, the second syllable ya is the same as the first two lines, and the yi in the second syllable in the third and fourth lines. Oh, cool. I didn't even notice that one. Also, we see here that the first and seventh letters are the same in each line. For example, Jayati and Janmana in the first line. Other varieties of alliteration may be found in other verses. This subject is elaborated upon in Muktapala Tika. Wait, let's see this. We see here that in this first verse, the syllable ya is the same in the first two lines. Okay, so let's look at that. Let's see the ya. Okay. So we see Jayati, Shayata, Daita, Drishyatam. No, but it's in the first two lines, the first word. So Jayati, Shayata. So that's another thing in here. Cool. All right. So now we're reading the second verse. Whoa, I went way too far. Oh, and I keep on getting messages. I'm just seeing if it's related to this. No. Let's check the comments. Okay. And you can sing along with me these Gopī-gīta verses. Sharadudashaye sadujata sat sarase jodara Shrimushadrisha Suratanātate Shulkadasika Varadane Gnato Nehake Vada. O Suratanath, master of amorous pleasure, with the glance of your eyes that surpass the beauty of the whirl of enchanting lotuses which blossom in autumn ponds, you have lethally injured us, your unpaid maidservants. O bestower of benedictions, you don't consider killing by a glance to be murder? Śrīla Swāmī Pad's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā. In this chapter, Sri Gopī-gīta, each verse is sung independently by a different gopi. Wow, and there's a footnote here. The hidden meaning is that the 19 verses of this chapter are not sung by either one single. They're not sung by either one single gopi or all of them together. Rather, the heads of the different groups of of gopis have prayed according to their individual bhavs. Therefore, we should consider that each verse is prefaced with the phrase, "Some gopi said." In this way, even though the second verse is spoken by one particular gopi, it is linked with the previous verse. There's a footnote here also. Here we have to understand that although each verse is spoken by a different gopi, and all the verses are being sung at the same time, still each verse is linked to the next in an uninterrupted continuation of bhav. Because even though the gopis have spoken the verses according to their different sentiments, all the gopis are situated in the same mood of separation. Okay. Shri Krishna might say, "Go ahead and look for me. What do I care?" To this, the gopis reply with the verse beginning with sorry, with Śrīdhara. Your eyes have stolen the beauty of the radiant whirl of the most attractive lotus flowers that blossom in autumn ponds. O Suratanath, O master of amorous pleasure, you are slaying us, your unpaid maidservants. You don't see this as murder? Do you think that one can be killed only by weapons and not by eyes? It is certain that you are killing us. Your eyes have robbed us of our life heirs. O bestower of benedictions fulfilling all desires, you should return the stolen property by appearing before us just once. We ask only for this. The sentence, "you should appear before us just once," can be attached to the end of every verse. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī Pad's Vaiṣṇava Toṣaṇī. The phrase Sharad Udāśayē means autumn lakes. This signifies the auspiciousness of the autumn season when the reservoirs of water become clear and pristine. This also indicates the time and place of birth. The time and place of birth of the lotus. Sadhujat means born in a beautiful way. That is, the lotus was fully blossomed when it took birth. Sat indicates the special, unique qualities that come from high caste. Udara indicates the wealth of the beauty hidden in the middle of a lotus flower. And there's a footnote here. Birth, time of birth, place of birth, caste, rarity, and beauty of the world. These indicate the lotus flower's supreme excellence in every respect. Thus, the exquisite beauty of a lotus is fully described. The splendor of your eyes is such that it easily conquers even the splendor of 1,000-petaled lotus and steals its beauty as well. Wherever your eyes cast their charming glance, it becomes impossible for that place to keep its allurement. Those eyes of yours express ever fresh, novel emotions at every moment, and therefore they definitely rob the beauty of such places. This is the mood. Here the word drisha is the noun, here the word drisha is noun drish in its instrumental case, and in single number, meaning by one eye. The confidential meaning of this is when even one of your eyes most competently expresses your intentions and is thus killing us, we cannot even imagine our condition if both of your eyes would, when even just one of your eyes most competently expresses your intentions and is thus killing us, we cannot even imagine our condition if both of your eyes would glance upon us. The word drisha, when explained in connection with the word suratanath, becomes drishaiva suratanath. He who begs not for amorous union, surata, with his glance, drisha. The gopis say, I think drisha has a, let me just, there. The gopis say, O you who beg for surata, simply by casting your sidelong glance our way, you request us for amorous enjoyment. Therefore, you are the one responsible for arousing this desire in our hearts. Furthermore, you are Varada, you are giver of benefits. The day you stole our garments, you gave us this benediction, and now your glance begging for surata has reinforced our unflinching desire. As a result, we have become your unpaid maidservants, Ashulka Dasika. Hence, we are not to be blamed, as we are your volunteer workers. Our virtuous character shines out. If you would not have expressed your amorous desire through your sidelong glance, then the strong desire for pleasure would not have arisen in our hearts. Therefore, to fulfill this ardent impulse, we have come to you, having completely given up our religiosity, chastity, forbearance, etc. Still, we are not at fault, because this is the behavior of an unpaid maidservant. Actually, the splendor and other special qualities of your glance, it is your splendor and other qualities that is to be blamed. The other special qualities of your glance that are to be blamed. And now your eyes have become even more reprehensible. To explain their position, the gopis speak the word nignata. You are killing us with your glance. Another meaning of this verse is that the gopis accuse Krishna as stealth through the artful use of his glance. This tendency in thieves manifests in three ways. The first one is to pilfer the property of respectable persons, and a thief will feel no remorse. The second is to secure inside information about someone's property which is hidden in a most secret place. And the third is to reach the places that are extremely difficult to access. The gopis attribute the first tendency to Krishna by speaking the phrase Sat Sarasi, which means extremely pure autumn ponds, and Sadhu Jat, which means the lotuses take birth in those ponds and consequently have a high-class birth. The word Sat glorifies the beauty and other assets of the lotus flowers, and thus confirms that they have exalted qualities. The gopis therefore conclude, Your eyes have robbed the high-class lotus of its beauty, thus implicating you in illicit activity. And you cannot admit this. And if you cannot admit this, then you are even more at fault. Wait, so if you can't admit that your eyes have robbed the high-class lotus of its beauty, then you're even more at fault. The gopis next speak the line beginning with Sarasijodhara to explain how Krishna practices the second tendency also. You have stolen the beauty hidden in the lotus immersed in the deep water of the pond. In the autumn season, the fully blossomed thousand-petaled lotus flower, growing deep in the middle of the pond, conceals its invaluable beauty in its whirl. But still, somehow, your glance acquired full knowledge about that highly hidden wealth. How is it possible that your eyes learned about this well-concealed beauty, and how did it succeed in stealing it? They continue. It is clear that you are guilty of the third tendency as well, because just with your eyes you reached the lotus in the middle of the deep waters and stole its radiance from the pericarp. With the arrival of autumn after the rainy season, the lakes are filled to the brim with pure, clear water. Because the water is so deep at this time, it is extremely difficult to reach the thousand-petaled lotus flower, which is situated at the center of the pond. And for the glance to reach the middle of the flower and penetrate its thousand-petal covering presents a further challenge. Even in such a bottomless pond filled to the brim with water, just see how your eyes reach this extremely inaccessible place. Actually, out of fear of your glance, the lotus has hidden its radiance, the heroine of its beauty, and its whirl with a covering of thousands of petals. But you succeeded in reaching there as well as stealing her. Then what to speak of us simple-hearted girls of Vraj, who fearlessly wander throughout Vrindavan? You kidnapped us also with your thieving glance. The lotus, knowing that you would definitely abduct the wealth of its beauty with your eyes, hid its treasure away in its belly and cautiously took up residence in the deep water. Despite witnessing this crooked behavior, you never became upset with the lotus and simply stole its beauty, which, with great respect, you placed in your eyes. We, on the other hand, never behaved in any sly manner like the lotus. Rather, being naturally ingenious, um, we were, is that the right word? Ingenious? Oh, wait, how do you say this word? Anyways, it means naive, innocent, simple, childlike, trusting, trustful, over-trusting. Is it ingenuous? Okay, I didn't know that word. So rather, being naturally ingenuous, we were wandering fearlessly all over Braj. Despite our simplicity, you forcefully pilfered all our riches, our self-control, virtuous behavior, shyness, deference for a family line, piety, honor, vitality, mind, etc. Although the cunning lotus tried her level best to resist you, you placed her beauty in your eyes and thus honored her. But we, your unpaid maidservants, placed ourselves at your lotus feet, and you abandoned us during the night in the dense forest. This kind of unjust behavior will naturally give rise to resentment. Even though you gave us an inferior position as unpaid maidservants, still we renounced all jealousy and began serving you without any selfish motive. Now, with those same eyes, you are ready to kill us, although it is very unfair of you. Only to convey this message, the gopis say, Nignata, you are killing us. The gopis pose a question. Neha king vada. Is killing by the eyes not considered killing? You think you are an expert thief and that you won't get caught using your crafty glance to slay us surreptitiously. Even if no one knows even if no one knows what you have done, isn't it still not an act of murder? By addressing Krishna as Suratanath and Varada, they actually mean to say, alas, we know the truth about your sidelong glance. The amorous pleasure, Surata, for which you were begging with your eyes, or which you promised as a blessing, Varada, is all false. You have demonstrated this expertise only as a pretext to do away with us. The comments of the gopis regarding Krishna killing them are described in Śrīdhara Swāmī's Bhāvārtha Dīpikā commentary. In the line Te Shulka Dasika, the letter A can be separated from the word Shulka, and the sentence will become Drishaiva Shulka Dasika. This means, you purchased us by your glance, which defeats the beauty of the whirl of the lotus. We have sold ourselves to the price of your glance, but still you've abandoned us. This is nothing less than killing. Won't this be considered murder? Shushtaram jana mupatapaka. What does that mean? That means here Suratanata te is explained thus. Okay. Su means shushtu, exclusively. Rata means ratanam, devoted. Natate means janana mupatapakaya. Sorry, janana mupatapaka. That means causing pain, agony in people. Okay. Here, natate is the present tense, third person and singular form of the Atmanepadi, self-serving verbal root nati. Okay. The gopis address Krishna as the woe, the not of successful. Oh, interesting. Okay. The gopis address Krishna as the woe, not of successful persons. Here, the verbal root not means to bring calamity. They say, O you who make your beloved suffer in a secluded place. O you who let your beloveds burn in the fire of separation. O Varada, you who give blessing but went back on your word. Here, the verbal root da is used in the second meaning to break. Oh, and there's a footnote here. Here, Varada is explained in this way. Vara, Nijavara, one's own boon. Da means chedak, deny. Because the verbal root da also means to deny. So one who denies giving boons. That's another meaning of Varada. So, hey Varada, giver of benedictions, or one who denies to give benedictions. You destroy, da derived from D. You destroy happiness in this world and the next, Vara, the higher planets. Oh wow, so there's three meanings of Varada there. If you actually had any rights on us, or if we were your property, we would have no complaint against you, whether you took care of us or destroyed us. But the fact is that we are not your personal property. You never bought us, nor did you accept us in marriage. Your eyes, which are habituated to looting, have robbed us of all discrimination, and, leaving us bewildered, have driven us mad. As a result, we freely gave ourselves to you, becoming your unpaid maidservants. The gopis next explain Krishna's qualities of having power to attract and to bewilder, and being the very king of all expert thieves. With your eyes you have kidnapped Shri, the very essence of beauty, the wealth contained in the whirl of the finest, fully blossomed lotus, Sarasijodhara, growing in a saintly environment, Sadhu Jata, of the deep autumn ponds, Udasaye, filled with crystal clear water. In this way, the gopis described how Krishna's eyes robbed the high-born, the Sata lotus, and thus acquired such extraordinary fragrance, coolness, grace, and softness. Your thieving glance succeeded in entering the innermost place of those pious, high-class lotuses, just to plunder their wealth. An ordinary person could never have done this. Similarly, the thief of your glance has thrown some bewitching and intoxicating dust into our eyes, and has thus made us deranged. It has snatched the treasured blessing of our amorous pleasure, previously bestowed as. Sorry, let me reread that. It snatched the treasured blessing of our amorous pleasure, previously bestowed, as well as our life heirs, and it has presented these to you. This is why we told you before that our life heirs reside in you. As you have stolen our wealth, we are left poverty-stricken and are now on the verge of death. The gopis conclude, you will be accused of genocide, killing thousands and thousands of cowherd maidens. Therefore, appear before us and save yourself from the sin of slaughtering women. Beware of sin and show us your face. All right, so that is our reading for today. Hare Krishna, Yashoda Didi. So I'd like to show you something. Just give me 1 second. We'll do. I'll sing first, and then we can. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. And I wanted to show you this picture that my cousin Manjari did, but I have a website blocker. So I'll show you tomorrow. I'll have to put this on the wait list, this website. But I will put the link in the description here. Oh, Niri Hari Prabhu arrived back in Vrindavan last night. Great. I hope to see you soon then. Oh, I'm so happy you're here, finally back. But yeah, if you're interested in, check out this link here that I put in the comments, and you can see this is one of the my favorite paintings, I think. Yeah, I'd say it's one of my favorite all-time favorite paintings. And if you're interested, you can get G-clay printing, or I think there's different formats if you're interested. All right, Dandavat Pranams Ganga Mataji. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shila Gokshara Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Shila Satchitaranda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaiṣṇava Sarvabhauma Shila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jīva Gopala Bhatta Dashagunath Sharda Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradatta Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyayī ki Jai. Shri Gopī-gīta ki Jai. Sarva Vraja Devi Gan ki Jai. Raseshwari Shri Vrishabhanunandini Shrimati Radha Ṭhākurani ki Jai. Shri Raseshwar Rajendra Nandan Sham Sundar Shri Gopinath ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Shri Madhvacharya ki Jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki Jai. Shri Ramchandra Vijayotsav ki Jai. Vijay Dashami Titi ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranam, everybody. Oh, and Pradyumna Prabhu is asking about Srivasa's website. When's it going to be launched? It's
a few hours.
Okay, in a few hours from now, Srivasa's new website called The Big Drum Brihad Mridanga will be launched, and Srivasa is always finding all sorts of new, very interesting, juicy things and translating different commentaries and articles from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, finding things from all sorts of places, and actually he has very big plans for this website. So if you would like to if you would like to follow along and subscribe to his mailing list, then you can check it out. But that will be in a few hours. I'll announce it on my Facebook page. And I'll also read the first articles that he publishes on that website online. So, all right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe.